Myoho Renge Kyo Nam. Myoho Renge Kyo Nam. Myoho Renge Kyo. Hello, friends. Now that spring is here and summer's on its way, as some of you know, I don't have a full heating and air conditioning system built into this school yet. Still don't have the funds to do that. But the school is here, and I actually have a visitor coming all the way from Starkville. He's a student today. He's driving all the way up here. It's for a class he's taking on Buddhism. Very interesting. I'm always interested to talk to students in whatever form, school trips, that kind of thing. So if any of you are somewhat local or in the Mississippi or tri-state area and you'd like to do that, I would love to talk to large groups. So let's continue. We were just done in the last part where Nichiren was talking to his imaginary interlocutor about this penchant that many people have to this day, that if there are only a few people who are expert or are teach or whatever it is in their field, that they can't be of any good. We have to go with a large majority because they're always right. They're always more right or whatever. It's very much, as I say it out loud, it sounds like a herd mentality, doesn't it? This is something in our day and age, in the latter day, which Nichiren is an opening scholar of. It's quite prevalent. These popularity contests, ideas like celebrity that 200 years ago would have been reserved for heads of state or royalty or things of that nature now are like, just abundant, just happening every 15 minutes with things like the internet, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. There's instant celebrities. And it's not that the people are doing anything unique. They are, but what they're doing is they're serving this herd mentality. If they say certain key things or have certain attitudes, that they will gather a cult of personality rather than in service to anything resembling substance. The substance is tenuous at best. And it's a very unfortunate way of thinking because it cuts you off, it cuts all of us off from a more, I don't want to overuse the word scholarly, but certainly a more insightful view of what is going on in our own lives, let alone our environments, which as Buddhists we know are intimately connected. Your environment is you. It's yours, more accurately. It is of your creation, just as mine is, my own. So I left with the last paragraph was the sage said, "How foolish you are. Your attachment to this belief that one should abandon the few in favor of the many towers higher than Mount Sumeru." And he goes on hammering to him, do you see what you're doing here? The seed of the Nyagroda tree, though 1/3 the size of a mustard seed, can conceal 500 carts within itself. They would use this tree to build carts, very strong wood, and flexible, so it could take the punishment of a cart. Is this not a case of the small containing the large? The wish-granting jewel. His scholarship is to dive deep into all of the, and this is something I'm going to repeat because I haven't said it in a while, the skillful devices the expedient means that Buddha talked about and that Nichiren is using in his scholarship are inculcated cultural stories that follow us, just like in the United States, there are stories of George Washington crossing the Delaware and so on and so forth that are not exactly history, and some are blatantly not history, but they're representative of a certain attitude. And they become inculcated in cultures, and in order to teach people to think differently, very often, and certainly in Buddhism, those stories, those fables, those anecdotes are utilized in order to pull that thinking out of people and then reanalyze it in the light of Buddhism. To help people gain understanding and meaning of the words more quickly, to raise their capacity, if you will. So here we go, the wish-granting jewel, while only one in number, is able to rain down 10,000 treasures from a single thing, without a single thing lacking. Is this not a case of the few encompassing the many? The popular proverb says that one is the mother of 10,000. Do you know, and that's from China, so this is from, Japan, China, Korea, India, it's from all over Asia. Do you not understand the principle behind these matters? The important thing to consider is whether or not a doctrine conforms with the principle of the true aspect of all things. Do not be blindly attached to the question of many or few. It's a popularity contest. How many people are following Bob? Well, I guess I'll listen to Bob's version of things. And it's okay to listen to Bob's version of things, but to throw all of your self and limit your mind to only what Bob says, that's very problematic. But since you are so extremely foolish, not you, I'm reading Nichiren, let me give you an analogy. Myoho Renge Kyo is the Buddha nature of all living beings. Boom. Just says it. The Buddha nature is the Dharma nature, and the Dharma nature is enlightenment. The Buddha nature possessed by Shakyamuni Buddha, many treasures, and the Buddhas of the 10 directions, by superior practices, boundless practices, and the other bodhisattvas of the earth, by universal worthy Manjushri, Shariputra, Madhyagyana, I always have trouble with that one, and the others, by the great Brahma and the Lord Chakra, by the deities of the sun and moon, the morning star, the 7 stars in the Big Dipper in the northern sky, the 28 constellation and the countless other stars, by the heavenly gods, the earthly deities, the dragon deities, the 8 kinds of non-human beings, and the human and heavenly beings who gathered in the great assembly to hear the Buddha's preaching. This is from the Lotus Sutra, right? And in many, many other sutras, but this is what he's referring. By King Yama, in short, by all living beings from the realm where there is neither thought nor no thought, above the clouds, down to the flames, in the lowest depths of hell, the Buddha nature that all these beings possess is called by the name Myoho Renge Kyo. This is everything. Therefore, if you recite these words of the Daimoku once, then the Buddha nature of all living beings will be summoned and gathered around you. Do you see where he's going here? At that time, the 3 bodies of the Dharma nature within you, the Dharma body, the reward body, and the manifested body, will be drawn forth and become manifest. Now, I've talked about the 3 bodies before. I have an entire tape on it, and I have a white paper on it on the website, so you can read that. They're all 3 versions or aspects of our human condition. Will be drawn forth and manifest. This is called attaining Buddhahood. To illustrate, when a caged bird sings, the many birds flying in the sky all gather around it at once. Seeing this, the bird in the cage strives to get out. So he's using this foolish man's adherence to the many and showing him that this one is the many, that the many support the one. The unenlightened man said, "You have now explained to me in detail the benefits of the daimoku and the significance of the mystic law, or the a priori law. But I would like to ask whether these matters are explained in this manner in the sutra." Once again, okay, you say this, but what does the sutra say? He always wants the comfort of the larger. Well, it's okay, because as Buddhists, this is how we transcend our human conditioned self-obsession, right? By study. So he's still stuck on the larger popularity and authority rather than understanding and perceiving the truth for himself. And this is a problem, but Nichiren says, okay, since you have already understood the principle involved, there is really no need to go on and inquire what scriptural passages it is based on. However, I will cite a passage from the sutra as you request. Nietzsche just said the same thing I did. It's like, look, do you get it? If you get it, then why do you need sundry, yes, these are correct words. I'm telling you what they mean. That's what's important. If you can't judge for yourself that's so clear, then okay, I'll read you something. But you already understand this. You already know. I'll appease your need. The Dharani chapter in the 8th volume of the Lotus Sutra says, if you can shield and guard those who accept and uphold the mere name of the Lotus Sutra, your merit will be immeasurable. In this passage, the Buddha is praising the mother of demon children and the 10 demon daughters of their vow to protect the votaries of the Lotus Sutra, and saying that the blessings from their vow to protect those who embrace the daimoku of the Lotus Sutra are beyond even the Buddha wisdom, which completely comprehends the 3 existences to fathom. While by rights nothing should be beyond the grasp of the Buddha wisdom, the Buddha says here that the blessings that accrue from accepting and embracing the daimoku of the Lotus Sutra are the one thing that wisdom cannot measure. So again, to those who want to say the Lotus Sutra is such a piece of fluff and self-congratulatory, this is surely, even if the translations wander, an actual precise statement that the title of this very teaching is it. It is your Buddha nature. It is the law, if as a human you have to attach things to law. But it's law in the way gravity is a law. It is law in the way the extinction of the universe, that all things are impermanent, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction in our physical universe. It's a law in that way. Not a law as in you ran the stop sign, you're getting a ticket. Not that kind of law. That's a man-made law. We're talking about natural laws, laws that govern all phenomena. That's what Buddhism is about. The blessings of the entire Lotus Sutra are all contained solely within the 5 characters of Myoho Renge Kyo. While the words in the 8 volumes of the Lotus Sutra differ according to the contents of the 28 chapters, the 5 characters of the daimoku remain the same throughout. To illustrate, within the 2 characters for Japan are included the more than 60 provinces, and the 2 islands are there any districts or provinces that are not contained within this name. So when you say the United States, or many of you just say America, which is kind of arrogant since Canada's a bigger country, but United States represents Hawaii, California, Wisconsin, South Carolina, right? You don't have to list all 50 states in order to say the United States. You say the United States, everyone understands. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, or Myoho Renge Kyo, more accurately, is the entire teaching and practice, and more importantly, meaning of all Buddhist teaching. It's the goal. If one uses the term birds, people know that one is talking about creatures that fly in the sky. If one says beasts, people understand that one is referring to animals that run over the ground. In all things, names are of great importance precisely because they can convey general meaning in this way. This is what the great teacher Tendai meant when he said that names convey the basic nature of a thing while phrases describe how it differs from other things. Or when he says that the names designates the fundamental character of a thing. Now, this is in deference because Buddhism, once again, is about how to live life well. So Buddhism recognizes very pragmatically that Buddhist practice and enlightenment is about life. Come on in. We'll have to continue later. My guest is here. Thank you. Come on in.